Hello everyone, I'm Freaky and welcome to the video. Merry Christmas everyone. Well, near enough. And you know what? I love this time of year. The decorations, the food, presents, family get-togethers. It is all around fun when it comes to Christmas time. But there's also another thing that I like when it comes to this time of year. And that is Christmas movies, Christmas specials, or any movie that you consider a Christmas movie, or there's a certain movie or special that you watch that is a tradition to watch this time of year. And it can be anything. Movies, series, an episode from a series. I mean, it can be absolutely anything. Or maybe it isn't a Christmas movie or episode, but it's just a movie or a series or whatever that you like to watch this time of year. It could be any adaptation of The Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. It could be A Wonderful World. It could be A Miracle on 34th Street. But the thing is, I've never actually watched It's a Wonderful World or Miracle on 34th Street, which to be fair, I really should watch. I mean, yeah, I've seen parodies of It's a Wonderful World on other series like the Tiny Toons show, but yeah, that's a Christmas movie I have to watch, and a fair few others. But anyways, today I'm going to be giving you guys some suggestions of movies, specials, episodes that are holiday themed, or movies in general that, to me, feels like a holiday movie or episode or special. And if your favourite special or movie or episode isn't on this list, then that just means I haven't seen them or I completely forgot about them. So if your favourite Christmas special, movie or episode isn't on this, it's because I haven't seen it or I forgot about it, okay? Okay, and with that said, let's go. And the first Christmas movie is any Christmas Carol movie adaptation. And there are loads of these things. There's Mickey's Christmas Carol, there's Disney's Christmas Carol, there's The Muppets Christmas Carol. Like, there are loads of adaptations of Charles Dickens' adaptation of A Christmas Carol. But my favourite is definitely Muppets Christmas Carol. But if you want a more serious, down-to-earth Christmas Carol, then I highly recommend the movie with George C. Scott in it. For me, I think he's the best Scrooge, in my opinion. But like I said, there are loads of versions of The Christmas Carol. So if there's any version of The Christmas Carol that you like, then go and watch those adaptations of Christmas Carol. Or go and watch other versions of A Christmas Carol, because there are loads of versions of it, so you guys might as well go and check out the other adaptations of A Christmas Carol. Like I said, there are loads of versions of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. It must be like the most famous Christmas story ever, and there are loads of adaptations trying to be the Christmas Carol on top of the others. And there are specials, there are episodes, there are movies with The Christmas Carol. But you know what? Everybody knows about Christmas Carol, but not everybody has seen different adaptations of the story. So in my opinion, I think you guys should go and check out the other adaptations of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, because again, there are loads of these things. Like, loads. So yeah, instead of me telling you, go and check out Christmas Carol, please go and check out other adaptations of The Christmas Carol. So yeah, there you go. And with that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next Christmas special is Arthur Christmas. Now, Arthur Christmas has the makings of a classic. And basically, it's about Arthur, who is the son of Santa. And he finds one of the gifts that wasn't sent to the kid. And it's up to him to get that present to the kid who wanted the bike from Santa. And yeah, it does sound very simple. But there is loads of things going on in this movie. Like, for example, you've got Arthur's grandfather, you've got Arthur's brother, and you've got Arthur's father, who is Santa. And his granddad is the previous generation of Santa. And his father is the current generation of Santa, and his brother, who is next in line to be Santa. And sometimes they'll argue saying, oh, the old ways are better, or oh, the new ways are better. And the current Santa doesn't want to give up his position because he loves it so much. There is a lot, and I mean a lot, going on for this movie. And yeah, the way I describe it makes it sound simple, but it is a very good and has the makings of a classic. Like, it's up there with Miracle on 34th Street or It's a Wonderful World. Okay, I wouldn't go that far, but it is a very good Christmas movie, and I highly recommend it. And so that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next movie is Tokyo Godfathers. Now, this is another Christmas movie, and it's about these three homeless people. One's a girl, one's an old man, and the other one is gay or trans, I'm not really sure, but it's about these three who finds a baby, and they make it their mission to try and find the mother or the family of this baby. And as they're going on this journey, we learn more about these three homeless people, like how they became homeless and what their history is. And there's a bit of a mystery here. And it's also funny as well. And it can be dramatic as well. I really love this movie. And sadly, it was never dubbed, so you can only watch it in sub. If that doesn't bother you, then go and check it out. Again, like Arthur Christmas. It does sound simple, but it's better than what I'm making it out to be. In fact, I think it could be Japan's best Christmas movie ever. So yeah, I highly recommend this movie. And I promise you guys this, Tokyo Godfathers won't disappoint you, I promise. And so with that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next movie is a little naughty, and that movie is Bad Santa. Now, I'm going to say this, I've only seen the first one. I don't know anything about the second one, but I think Bad Santa is one of those unique movies when a bad guy, slowly but surely, tries to do good. Like, he is an awful Santa, and he plays Santa in order to rob malls every year with his partner. And it's one of those X-rated Christmas movies that shouldn't be watched with kids. This movie is mainly for adults. I mean, like, really made for adults. But to me, it was funny. And the main character goes and lives with this kid at his house. And him and his partner is going to rob the mall for this Christmas. And over time, he tries to do good things in his own little way. And again, it's funny. And so with that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next one is an adult horror movie. And that is Jack Frost. Now, just to let you guys know, this is a horror film. It's a badly made horror film. It's kind of like The Leprechaun. Like, it's so bad it's good. So basically, it's about this serial killer that gets all this chemical stuff splashed on him, and he melts into the snow, and his new body becomes the snow itself. And basically, he became a killer snowman. Now, I've seen both part 1 and part 2, and part 2 was more of a summer thing, but the first one was definitely a Christmas one. And it's basically about a killer snowman trying to, well, kill everybody. So if you're a horror buff and you're sick of all this cutesy, be nice to people stuff, then this movie is just for you, alongside with Bad Santa. And so with that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next two are The Snowman and Father Christmas. Now, The Snowman is a well-known story with its well-known music. We're walking in the air, we're flying in the... You know that song. It's about a boy and his snowman and they became friends. Like, everybody knows about that movie. But it also has another movie. And that movie is Father Christmas. And in this movie, it's about Santa. Or in the UK we call him Father Christmas. It's about Santa. And he gets back from doing his job as Santa, and get this, he lives in the UK, and he has this sort of English accent, not in a posh way, but he sort of has like this London Brummie accent. I'm not really good with accents, but Santa lives in the UK, and he breaks the fourth wall, telling people, okay, this is what I do every day, and other things. And then one day, he has the idea of going on holiday, and he goes to all these places, and he uses his reindeer to go to all these places on his holiday. So basically, this is Santa on what he does during the time when it's not Christmas. And then, when it comes to Christmas time again, he's off doing his own thing on Christmas. Now, I wouldn't say that this movie is on par with The Snowman, but it's charming, it's fun, it's an all-in-all decent movie, and he also collabs with The Snowman. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And so that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next one is Gremlins. Okay, now this is a classic that everybody knows. The first one was at Christmas, and I think the second one was in summer, I think. I'm not really sure, but the first movie is a Christmas classic. And to be honest, I really don't think me telling you guys what this movie's all about would do any good, because everybody knows what the Gremlins is all about. It's about this little mogwai named Gizmo and his owner, and when Gizmo got water on him, he spawns out other mogwai, and they become gremlins, and they start running amok throughout the entire town. And this happens on Christmas. So yeah, everybody knows about Gremlins. It's one of my favourite movies. I highly recommend it. Let's carry on. Now, the next three isn't technically a Christmas movie, but I do see them around this time of year. And that is Wallace and Gromit. And yes, I know they're not Christmassy, but in my opinion, they do feel like Christmas stories. I mean, not like as in like, oh, it's around Christmas and there's something going on and it's a Christmas story. No, it feels like one of those movies that, you know, isn't a Christmas movie, but it feels like a traditional movie that you would watch around this time of year. And I think the most well-known famous movie is The Wrong Trousers. I mean, yeah, his first one was okay. The third movie was better than the first one, but his second one, The Wrong Trousers, to me, is a very great movie. And again, I've always seen this movie around this time of year. And yeah, even though it's not around Christmas time when this happens, Gromit is getting presents from Wallace because it's his birthday. And financially, they're not doing so well. So Wallace decides to rent out one of his rooms, and a penguin comes in and rents the room. And all sorts of crazy stuff happens. And when it came to their third movie, something to do with sheep, I couldn't remember the title, but that movie was just as good, but not as good, if you know what I'm trying to say, as The Wrong Trousers. But The Wrong Trousers is definitely, to me, a traditional movie that I would watch around Christmas time if it was on. And I'm sure there's some movies out there that you would watch around this time of year that isn't a Christmas movie, but it's more of a tradition that you would watch it because you would see it around this time of year. But yeah, that's just me. So yeah, I highly recommend it. And so that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next movie is... I can't pronounce this, but it's this. And just to let you guys know, I haven't seen this movie, but there is a reason as to why I'm suggesting this movie. Well, roughly around 7 to 8 years ago, Sainsbury's, a place where you go and get shopping, brought out this ad, and it both had the British and the Germans in World War One, and it took place in 1914. And on Christmas, both sides decided to have one day of peace, and both sides came together and was enjoying each other's company on Christmas Day, playing football, exchanging gifts. I mean, these were people who was killing each other since the beginning of the war, but now they've stopped the war, came to an agreement, and on one day, both sides decided to enjoy Christmas. And this is based on a true story. This actually happened, and that's exactly what happens in this movie. I might not have seen the movie, but I know this part happened within this movie. I saw clips on YouTube, and you know what? The Sainsbury's ad of the Christmas truce had me crying. So if that event is in this movie, then it deserves a watch, considering the theme and the location. Two mortal enemies coming together to enjoy Christmas. And if you ask me, I think you guys should definitely give this movie a watch. And the Sainsbury ad also a watch too. And with that said, let's move on to the next one. And the next one is the Only Fools and Horses Christmas Specials. Now, I love Fools and Horses. It's a sitcom that's well loved in Britain, and everybody knows this sitcom. And there's around 10 Christmas specials, and they're all good. But I think my favourites are Heroes and Villains. If you're a Batman fan, you guys will love this episode. There's Time on Our Hands, where Del and Rodney finally makes it. There's Mother Nature's Son, where Del sells tap water. And there's Fatal Extraction, where Del goes out with this woman, even though he's already living with somebody else. So it's like a parody of Fatal Attraction. All the specials are good, but the series is fantastic. It's one of the greatest British sitcoms of all time, and I highly recommend it. And so that said, let's move on to the next one. And the final one is Channel 4's The 100 Greatest Christmas Moments. And this is part of the 100 Greatest Moments that Channel 4 brought out years ago. And this series is one of my favourite things to watch. Like, there's the 100 Greatest Scariest Moments, the 100 Greatest Funny Moments, the 100 Greatest Kids Shows, the 100 Greatest Cartoons, etc, etc. And this one is the 100 Greatest Christmas Moments. And basically what happens in this episode of Channel 4's 100 Greatest is basically the best parts of other series that has Christmas in it. But it's only the best. There's comedy shows, there's movies. Hell, there's even the Queen's speech on this thing. So if you're looking for something to watch for this Christmas, you can find it on this list. Like, after you've watched this list, you can go and check out the stuff that's on this list. And even though it's not a movie or a special, it's a fun time to watch this list this time of the month. And yeah, those are my Christmas movies and specials that I recommend for this December. So if you guys want to go and check those out, please do. And I wish you guys a very Merry Christmas. I'm Freaky. Peace out. And please don't forget to check out my other social medias. Please go and check out my alternative video platforms, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Twitch, and please come and hang out on my Discord server. We can play games, have a movie night or a series night, or you can watch me play a few games. And if you guys have any suggestions of any videos you want me to react to, or any video ideas in general, you can tell me on my Discord. I'm also on Twitter, Gab, Getter, and Paula. I'm on Locals, Tumblr, Minds, and if you guys want to support me, please go and check out my Subscribestar. It's like Patreon, but better. All these things are in the description box below, so please go and check them out and subscribe to them. I'm Geek Freak. Peace out.